Now, it is 79 AD. You are standing in the Roman city of Pompeii. In the distance, Mount Vesuvius has erupted. A black column rises into the sky. Ash begins to fall. Soon, a white piece of pumice hits the ground beside your foot. Then another. Then another. You look up and realize something. This is not ordinary ash. The volcano has thrown stone and ash into the sky. Now it is falling back onto Pompeii. But the people in the street do not run. Some stare at the black column. Some turn back into their homes. Someone says, "Wait, maybe it will pass." This is the first dangerous moment in Pompeii. Not because the volcano kills you immediately, but because your own brain is buying time for the volcano. In disaster psychology, this reaction is called normalcy bias. When reality becomes too strange, the human brain tries to explain it as normal. The ground shakes. Maybe it is just another tremor. A black cloud rises. Maybe it is strange weather. Ash begins to fall. Maybe it will stop soon. Other people are not running, so maybe you do not need to run either. In ordinary life, this instinct can help you stay calm. But in Pompeii, it steals the one thing you need most: time. Because Pompeii was not destroyed in one instant. Modern research suggests that ash and pumice fell for many hours. That means, in the early stage, there may have been a real window to escape. Some researchers have also pointed to missing household objects, valuables, and transport animals as possible signs that not everyone died where they stood. Some people may have escaped. That is what makes this more terrifying. Pompeii gave people a chance, but it also gave them many good reasons to waste that chance. Over the next hours, you will face choices that all seem reasonable. None of them feel like mistakes. They all look like ways to make yourself safer, but each reasonable hesitation can make your escape window smaller. So the first thing you have to escape is not the volcano, it is your own judgment. The first choice is simple. Do you leave now, or keep waiting for other people to run first? If you wait, you do not look stupid. You look normal. You just want to make sure you are not overreacting. But in Pompeii, by the time everyone starts running, the streets may already be harder to use. The ash is thicker, the air is worse, the streets are darker, the crowd is more confused. You think you are waiting for certainty, but you are paying with time. So the real question is not whether the volcano is dangerous. The question is whether you can move before everyone else admits it is dangerous. You decide to leave, but the moment you turn around, the second choice appears. Your home. The door is still open. Inside, there is water, clothing, money, food, and all the things you never thought you might lose when you left that morning. You only want to go back for a moment. 1 minute, maybe 2. Take a few things, then leave. It sounds reasonable. When disaster comes, who leaves with nothing? And real escape from Pompeii was probably not a perfect scene where everyone ran empty-handed at the same time. Some people may have taken valuables. Some may have taken household objects. Some may have tried to carry part of their old life with them. That is not stupidity. That is human. But Pompeii is not giving you time to pack. It is giving you time to get out. Every step back into the house changes the world outside. Ash is still falling. Pumice is still striking roofs and streets. The corner you could see a few minutes ago is turning gray. The street that was open a few minutes ago is starting to fill with people. You think you are collecting supplies, but you are buying safety with time. Money cannot help you breathe. A heavy chest cannot clear the road. Too much food may make you feel prepared, but if it slows you down, it becomes another trap. In normal life, the more you carry, the safer you may feel. In Pompeii, the more you carry, the easier it is for the city to keep you. So, the second question is not what you can take. It is what you can leave behind. What you really need may be simple. A cloth to cover your mouth, a little water, a light outer garment, footwear that can handle pumice, hot dust, and broken ground. You are not moving house. You are escaping a city that is closing around you. If you slow yourself down in the first stage, every later choice becomes harder. You return to the street. But it is no longer the same street. The ash is thicker. The air burns more. From the roofs, you hear a heavy, dull sound. It is not rain. It is more pumice and ash piling up above you. The first stage of Pompeii is not a wall of fire chasing you down the street. It is weight. Weight on roofs. Weight on roads. Weight on your shoulders. And weight on every choice you make. You begin to move forward. A man ahead of you is carrying a small chest. At first, he walks fast, faster than you. A few minutes later, he slows down. He switches the chest to his other arm. Then he stops beside a wall trying to breathe. Later, he is on his knees in the ash. He has not been struck by the volcano. He has carried too much of what he could not lose. As you pass him, you understand something. In Pompeii, the first people to fall may not be the most afraid. They may be the ones who cannot let go. The third choice is hidden inside the crowd. The street is getting louder. Someone shouts, "Go to the harbor!" Someone else shouts, "The city gate is still open!" Someone runs forward holding a child. Someone turns back toward home. Others are only following the people in front of them without knowing where they are going. You want to follow the largest group. That is natural. In danger, humans look for other humans. If many people are running to the harbor, maybe the harbor is the answer. If many people are running to the gate, maybe the gate is still open. But in a disaster, a crowd is not always a direction. Sometimes a crowd is just fear taking shape. The harbor sounds like hope. Water, ships, distance from the city. But if everyone thinks the same thing, the harbor may become the most crowded place in Pompeii. The boats may already be gone, or full, or controlled by people who will not wait for you. The land road has its own danger. It may lead you away from the volcano, but the streets may be blocked. The ground may be covered with pumice, and you may no longer see clearly enough to know which way is still open. A route is not just a line on a map. A route is whether you can still keep moving. Ahead of you, a man pulling a child suddenly stops. He looks left, then right. The child looks up at him, but he does not know which way is right either. That is when you realize the real fear is not that there is no road. It is that there are too many roads. Every road looks like an exit. Every road may become a dead end. So the third question is not where everyone is running. It is whether you are willing to give your life to people who are just as afraid as you are. If a road takes you farther from the volcano, it has value. If a road only pushes you into a denser crowd, it may be leading you back into the trap. You keep going. The ash is thicker now. Pumice falls more heavily. Your mouth is full of dust. Your eyes begin to sting. Every breath feels like swallowing sand. Then you see a house. The door is open. Inside, it is quieter than the street. The roof blocks the falling ash and pumice. The walls block the wind and the crowd. For a moment, it does not look like a trap. It looks like rescue. The fourth choice appears. Do you go inside? If you do, you may breathe for a moment. You may wipe the ash from your eyes. You may think again. That is not always wrong. The question is whether you can still leave. Ash and pumice do not disappear after they fall. They pile up, on roofs, in courtyards, against doors. A roof can protect you from the first falling stones. It can also collapse hours later under too much weight. A door can keep the chaos outside. It can also become blocked by ash and debris. A room can give you 5 minutes to breathe. It can also convince you that you can wait until tomorrow. So the fourth question is not whether there are walls. It is whether you still have a way out if things get worse. Safety is not a roof. Safety is a retreat path. If a place helps you recover for a moment and choose your next direction, it may save you. But if it makes you sit down and believe you're finally safe, it may be killing you. You lean against the wall and breathe hard. Outside, the noise is softer. For 1 second, you may believe you made the right choice, but the volcano does not stop because you found shelter. It keeps moving into the next stage. Time passes. The city grows darker. When you leave the house, the street is harder to recognize. Ash and pumice are deeper under your feet. Part of the wall is buried. Some doors no longer open. Pompeii does not close all at once. It narrows little by little. You keep moving. You do not know how long it has been. Hours, maybe. Your throat feels scraped raw. Your legs are heavy. There are fewer people around you. Some have stopped. Some have disappeared into the ash. Some are still walking back, as if they have forgotten the mountain behind them. Then the final choice comes. It does not come from the city. It comes from your body. Your body begs you to stop. Sit down. Hide for a while. Wait for the ash to slow. Wait for daylight. Leave tomorrow. That sounds reasonable. When people cannot see the road, they want to wait for dawn. But in Pompeii, dawn may not mean safety. The first stage gives you the illusion of choice. You can run. You can hide. You can change roads. But the later danger may not give you another choice. When the eruption column begins to collapse, deadly pyroclastic flows and hot gases can rush toward the city. This is not ash falling slowly from the sky. It is fast-moving heat, ash, and volcanic material. It will not shout like a crowd. It will not warn you like pumice hitting your feet. If you are still in the wrong place when it arrives, you may not even have time to understand what is happening. That is why every earlier choice was not really about comfort, or safety, or carrying more. It was about one thing. Do not be in the wrong place when the final stage arrives. You are afraid. You are exhausted. You can barely see the road. But can you keep moving away from the mountain? Not because movement is always safe, but because stopping in the wrong place may take away your final choice. Looking back, the terrifying part of Pompeii is not that every choice is obviously wrong. The opposite is true. Every choice feels reasonable. Waiting feels reasonable. Going back for supplies feels reasonable. Following the crowd feels reasonable. Resting inside a house feels reasonable. Waiting for daylight feels reasonable. But in Pompeii, reasonable does not mean safe. The volcano does not slow down because your reason makes sense. It only keeps moving. Pompeii does not kill you only with ash. It kills you with time, with normalcy, bias, with every reasonable reason to wait. So could you survive day 1 of Pompeii's eruption? Maybe, but only if you understand one rule. The real danger is not just the volcano. It is thinking like yesterday, after the world has already changed. So what would you choose? When the first white piece of pumice hits the ground beside you, do you leave immediately or wait for others to run first? When your home is behind you, do you go back for supplies or leave with only what keeps you moving? When the crowd rushes toward the harbor, do you follow them or judge the route yourself? When an open house looks like safety, do you hide inside or use it only as a short rest? When night comes and your body is almost done, do you wait for daylight or keep moving away from the mountain? Leave your choices in the comments. Let us see who survives the first day of Pompeii, and who waited just a few minutes too long and never made it out of the city.